Awesome. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in for yet another episode of PitchGround product webinars where we bring in amazing products. And this webinar is all about another incredible product. We have the Chief Growth Officer of MyLenio, Ines. And if we can just take a moment to introduce yourself before we get started, that would be fantastic.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Edith. Thank you for having you here. It's great to be here and to be representing MyLenio. MyLenio is a platform that we are going to talk in a couple of minutes about it. And I'm Ines, the growth manager in charge of the sales and marketing team. And I don't know, on board in this amazing adventure of being on PitchGround and offering our product on PitchGround, which is amazing and a pleasure.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. So while we get started, maybe can you tell a bit about the history about MyLenio and how it got started?
Yes, of course. Udit, sorry, you're here. Okay, so yeah, so the story basically is that, as any of it, some software products come from a software services company. In our case, is Lenio Labs, a big software services company that works today for leading companies in the States. And at the end of the day, in software companies, we need, and nowadays, I think in all the companies, we have many rotation, HR problems, recruiting problems that we have to be super organized to have everyone on board at the time, because clients, and especially if you work on services, you need to have everything so tight at that time. So that's our roots. We came from a services company that developed this product to avoid frictions on the onboarding, especially on the onboarding process, and at the end of the day, on all the working life for the employees. That's why, and that's how we born at some point. And right now, we create a completely product adaptable and flexible for any services company that want to have a smooth onboarding, organized onboarding, and which is something super important. As soon as you have your employee already with a contract signed, have him or she on board on the team with all the access, permissions, and resources that he or she needs to be completely on board and working.
Awesome, perfect. So why don't you go ahead and share your screen and we can show how amazing the product is. After that, we can go down and start doing a product very quickly.
Yeah, so I'm going to share, sorry, Udit, can you repeat? Should I share the product directly, or should I share
No. We're going to first share the presentation,
okay,
and then
okay. Yeah. That's what I understood, but just to double check. All right, so let me share here. 1 second. Share with me. Yeah, here we go. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to share right now this desktop. All right, so let me know whenever you see my screen.
I can see your screen.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so here we are to present the best tool in the market and way to perform an effective onboarding process. Okay, I think it's super important to highlight that, and I'm going to be repeating this over the presentation because I think it's super important. There is only one chance to make first impression. And the onboarding process is much more important than we commonly thinking on the employee working life, even though the onboarding process should be some days or even a week or maybe a month, depends on the company, but just at the beginning. And later on, this is something that over 5 years later, when the employee is still in the company, but it has happened 4 years, maybe they are not going to remember that or whatever. But if you go to the statistics and all to the tough data to the deep data about this is something that everyone remembers how they get on board on the company. So first of all, we are going to be talking about Why is the onboarding process a very important step? Okay, so it's a key on retention. What I mean with retention? Okay, to keep the employees on the company, to don't make feel that they have to change the company over the months, which is something it's a big deal nowadays on companies, because everyone wants a higher salary, a higher role, a higher position. So at the end of the day, rotation is a problem in the companies. It means a huge expenditure on recruitment. And at some point, with a good onboarding process, we can keep people on the company. So we are going to do our retention on them. So sorry, Udit, at any point or any participant have any question, please, yes, you can, leave the question on the chat. We are going to have later on a questions time, or if you have any comment, Udit, please go ahead.
Yeah,
Feel
definitely. I'll
super
keep
free.
posted. We'll have like a QA section at the very end. So we'll definitely like gather all the
Okay.
questions.
Okay, that's all right. Okay, so I repeat here, there's only one chance to make this first impression. I'm sure, and I can, and you can be super aware that they are going to remember that process, the onboarding one, and you can ask anyone in the company, and anyone can remember if it was a chaos or not, or how they felt with that process. And as well, I think this is something super important, talking about recruitment and human resources. Everyone in the company, okay, when you change your job position, or your, let's say, your role or whatever, you start with initial energy, okay? You start with that happiness, that means a change in your life. At the end, working life is something super important, and you have that good energy on you. So a good onboarding and a smooth onboarding process will let the company to take the advantage of that good and positive energy, and keep going with that energy, and don't like lose that energy at the very first step. Like, okay, I changed to this company because supposedly everything was super organized and, well, super smooth, and suddenly here happens things, and I felt that I'm super lost, and I don't get the point about changing and being here, or whatever. Okay, guys, 1 second. Let me check the chat, because hey, you did Inez. Okay. So keeping going with this, the step for the onboarding, for an onboarding to be effective, complete, and useful for an employee are 3. All right, are having all the details, meet the person, having all the personal data, just the completely, the full name as well, all the address, all the info that you need, depends on the legislation of any country, that maybe for tax documentation, maybe for some legal, maybe some labor law is the one that I said, well, any law that obliges you to have all the collection of data. So this is super important. And at the end of the day, meet the person who is behind all this data and information. Second, it's important for the employee, super important, to have a platform with all the info and announcements board, like suddenly step by step, where everything keeps going, and maybe at some point you feel lost, or you need any info, or you need any touch point where you can have everything. So this is something that we fixed with MyLenio, having this reference tool. And later on, a meeting point, a huddle. What I mean with that, okay, so at any point you have all the data, you have to meet this person, and the person have a point where it can have all this information on. The point is as well, having a huddle, having an actual meeting to meet this one who is going to be enrolled on the team, and meet who is going to be dealing day by day with in their task. Okay, so how MyLenio will help make this process successful? We are going to provide a set of features, 100% admin focus, to have all these processes smooth, to the company and especially human resources and tech departments doesn't have any troubles to giving access and to getting enrolled these new onboards, with the aim to make working life easier for the employee. At the end of the day, if you create a tool where everyone's feels that you are adding that value, that easier way to do things, this is something that is the key to at the end keep the tool, hire the tool, and be happy with the tool. And this is basically our aim, to have everyone happy, to have everyone saving time and putting their time in what really matters, and not be getting people on board and having all the access at the time, on the time that you need. MyLenio in the onboarding process. The onboarding process is going to be faster, and we are cut down 90% of the onboarding of the onboarding friction, where I can find my access to my email, where I can find the access to my calendar, where should I go to that meeting, as well, where I'm going to have my folder with the resources that I need, where is the access to Trello to keep going with the, to keep going with the board that my teams works with, and all this stuff. We have here a business case, which is Basalto. It's a leading company here in Spain with more than 60 onboardings through MyLenio. As well, they have already 11 teams. They divided all these onboard people in 11 teams, assigning them more than 18 trainers and saving and cutting off 3.5 hours per onboard employee. So this is something super success, and this is something that we have to highlight, because it's something that, thanks to MyLenio, they're achieving this. So thank you very much. Thank you for hearing me. This is basically how we fix the onboarding process, what we think is super important, and how, thanks to MyLenio, all the onboard people can feel part of the company from the very beginning point. Yeah.
Awesome, Anis. I have a question for you. Were you onboarded on MyLenio when you got started? And how was your experience?
Okay, so my experience was grateful, absolutely grateful. I remember it was yesterday, and it was a time ago, I can swear you. And it was a super smooth process with where I basically drop off all my information. Here in Spain, we have many legal requirements, as I said, from labor law, from tax law, from all these. And I drop off all this information. All my managers and admin staff on MyLenio have all this from me. And for example, as well, from Imagine a pay stub, that is something that have to be signed month on month. This is something that completely disappeared on my daily or monthly tasks, because I have a button on Slack that reminds all of us, like, you have your pay stub to be signed, or you have this expenditure that is going to be on your account in the next payment, or whatever. Like, all this admin process that could have and could be so long and at some point boring or frustrated, we smooth that. And that's how I felt with MyLenio. Like, it was Yeah, quietly smooth, and they have all my info, and I didn't even notice that they are having all this.
Awesome, awesome. I think it's probably time to dive into the product itself. Really excited to learn more about it, and let's dive into the product and see if we can onboard a few people and show how to really do that, and how all of the business owners over here can save time, and anyone who's going to watch this webinar as well, how can they save time?
Yeah, actually, what I highly recommend more than I onboard right now people is to get into the platform. You have the best deal that we have right now on the market with PitchGround, but you have as well the free trial where you can try this for free, get on board your actual team. Okay.
I think prior
And
to that,
then,
I guess let's dive into the actual product. If you can just like share your screen and let's just showcase the product to everyone.
yeah. Yeah. One second. One second, let me hear. Okay. So we are on MyLenio. So basically what I highly recommend you, as I was telling you, is just to get the free trial, okay? Complete here, let's say PitchGround webinar. Okay, and let me introduce that. I'm having a company right now with my mail, so let's create an actual new one. One second. One second. No, I don't want to start with this email. So this is a hack, of course, just to get a new company, because if not, we are going to dive in a new that have people on board right now, and we want to, and we want to test that exactly to onboard people. So yeah. One second. Please, it will be. All right. So look, this is the best way to get on board your people with our wizard. Get started, and here you have all the steps. Okay. So the point is that you have to connect your directory. Okay, even if it's Google or if it's Office 360, then you have to import your users. You can import from your CSV if you have it, or maybe you can get all the people on board manually, and then you connect your SaaS, any SaaS that you have. And as well, in 1 month from here, we are having our API ready, so you can already connect any app that is not here. As well, month by month, we are having more and more apps on board, such as Asana or Basecamp or these tools leading on task organization tools. So they are going to be on here, but as well, you're going to have your API in case that there is any app that is not on here, or well, you have your own apps where you want to connect because you have developed them internally. After you connect your apps, you can build your first team, but as first you can do all these steps. What is going on is that you are going to have your teams, okay? And here's on your teams, you are going to add any to any user all the roles that you want. Well, here is the profile that I already complete, and here are any roles that you want as well. In settings, you can create a role, and then you assign, due to the belong of on the team and due to the resources, you basically assign them the resources, and then as well the apps that they need to be on the team. Let me see the chat and any questions. Okay, so Charles is asking. All right, so I think if you go deeper here, you connect your directory, you create your users, and you connect your SaaS application, then you can build your own team, connect your resources, and set the user provisioning where you can automatically create and remove all the SaaS accounts from you, which is going to be avoiding to having any extra account. In any case, what I highly recommend you is that you connect your own directory, and for sure you ask a demo to us, and we will go deeper into the tool and into your team already on board and set. Yeah.
So honest, like, is it a product that can be used by like any small company, or is it has to be like any specific company? Who do you think would be really ideal for a product like this?
Okay, so I think, being honest, from 10 employees to up to 1,000, you can use the company. What I mean with 10 and not with 2 employees, because at the end of the day, as you see in this example where I was the only one enrolled by now because I didn't connect the directory, it doesn't make any sense to assign to teams, to assign in massive something that you don't have in your company. I mean, if you don't have to assign to some people, some things, maybe it's easier to assign on another way or whatever. So you are going to get the advantage, the actual advantage of this tool.
Right. Awesome. So there's just an anonymous question coming in, like the sort of off topic. What is the meaning of the brand name MyLenio? Like, why is octopus being used as a mascot?
Yeah, so our master company is Lenio Labs, okay? And basically MyLenio we are Lenio Labs is always using as Lenio, okay, Lenio. And MyLenio is like our platform, where our team is, where we belongs. So yeah, so that's why.
Oh, by the way, MyLenio Labs, which is the parent company, has got about 250 people working right now at the moment. So they are a very large development team. And this product is something that they had built to solve their own problem, because once you start really growing, you start understanding the pain. And that's where they decided to turn this entire product into a SaaS. And since then, like, they've just been onboarding people and customers. And it's been really helpful because ultimately you got to save time. And that is very, very critical. That's very important, that you save time in every possible way, because that is something that everyone is focusing on. One of the biggest reasons why we as business owners or business users, we use software is because we want to save time in every possible way. And this is exactly where MyLenio is so very handy. It's so very well built. It's so well developed by such a large organization that it's absolutely no brainer. And I think for most of the small businesses, even if you get like the most smallest plan, it's absolutely more than sufficient for their needs to get started with. So if you can look at it over here, MyLenio is currently on PitchGround. It's currently available for $79 on a lifetime deal, which is again absolutely no brainer for you to save your time to manage 10 users. If you're adding people, if you're removing people from your team constantly, especially with small businesses, the hiring and firing process is a lot faster, because you're still trying to figure out during that initial stages. And during those initial stages is where, like, you don't want to go down and go to your G Suite account, add people all the time, remove people all the time, go back to your Slack, add people all the time, remove people all the time. It's just a daunting task. It's way too time consuming. As a business owner, again, any kind of like time that you can save is always very handy, because every single minute matters. So that's exactly the pain point that you're trying to solve. Like, it's a very unique kind of an app. It's extremely different in terms of how they do things, but more importantly, it's an app that will help you ease your onboarding process for your team members as well, because instead of sending them 10,000 different like logins and everything, you can just onboard them on this app, making it so much more easy and smooth to ensure that the onboarding process is really very good. And I think that's extremely important. And I think we as business owners at one point have always gone through this pain point of logging in manually and trying to add user base. This is always a very heavy, painful position for anyone. So with regards to that, MyLenio is absolutely perfect. Brilliantly built software. You can give it a try. There's a 30-day trial period, and at the same time, you're backed up with a 60-day refund policy at the same time. So do give it a try. If there are any questions, please drop them in the comments, or use QA, and we'll be more than happy to answer those questions. With regards to this, anything you wanted to add something?
Yeah, and of course, I think it's super useful because we have been talking about onboarding process, which is the main topic of this webinar. But of course, for offboarding process, how many accounts you pay on Slack that you are not using, for example?
Exactly. I was about to add to that. We recently we actually asked a few people to leave the organization very recently, and I had a conversation with my CTO that hey, are you sure you removed the individual from our GitHub account, from our Slack, and from our G Suite everywhere? And many times we don't realize that we don't remove them and our cards are being charged all the time. So this is where again the app
and
is
of course you have a lapse of information and security. Exactly. Because they can still access to all the information that you are developing by that moment that they are not enrolled, and they don't have to have that access. So in terms of cybersecurity, in terms of billing, of course, from those SaaS, and in terms of cybersecurity as well, because they are having access to clients, they are having access to many information.
No, absolutely. I think that's amazing. Again, if there are any questions, please drop them in. We'll be more than happy to take up any more questions out there. But apart from that, and it's what are some of the other pain points out there that you have seen users really facing when you have onboarded such large organizations? Have you seen the similar pattern of pain points with the small businesses as well? And when that happens, how quick is the hiring and firing as compared to the bigger organizations for small businesses?
Yeah, I think actually there's not a difference between a small organization or big organization, because at the end of the day, well, big organization have more people, but the pain is the same. You need to give access. People have to feel part of the team, especially on remote team that right now are very up to date. And the point is that you're missing time. I mean, spending time in something that could be automated, and as well missing all this information. How many onboard people that they don't feel with that confidence of asking, sorry, I think you are talking to something that I don't have already access to, and all these kind of things. So I think there's not much difference between bigger companies or small companies, because at the end of the day, we are all people that want to feel part of the company that we work to, and we need to have access to all the resources that we need that we need to deliver our daily tasks. And at some point, being admin as well, we'll have to automatize this process, because it's a really easy and basic process. And at some point, as we have been talking just before, to have this offboarding process in the most security and accurate way.
Oh, absolutely. I think this also helps you to stay compliant with your GDPR, because by any chance, if you still have given access to your GitHub, for an example, or to any of the servers, or to one of your devs, and if they have left the organization, you have basically broken your GDPR by yourself, right? Without even realizing, because that person still has access to your server. Imagine someone just changing here and there because you have probably terminated someone's contract, and someone is so furious and angry that they're just trying to take a revenge, right? There could be some several situations out there. So this is where something like this, which is just one click off and helps you to manage everything under one roof, is extremely very handy. So I would definitely say give MyLenio a try, sign up, see how things are. And if you find this is a great fit for you, sign up for the lifetime deal. Again, $39 is absolutely no brainer for your peace of mind, saving time, and at the same time ensuring that you remain GDPR compliant, especially with regards to onboarding people.
To get in on the lifetime deal, as being a company, I'm going just to drop here a question. How many salaries do you pay for these admin tasks? Giving access, having everything under control,
I think
checking.
I think with most of the small businesses, right? Most of the small businesses, usually it's the founder who is doing it, or it's like someone from the team management itself doing it. Usually that's what really happens with small businesses.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, well, maybe if it's the founder, it's even worse because you're losing the most talented person to doing something that could be completely automatized, and we have already the solution here. We bring to the table this solution on a lifetime deal. So if you're paying a salary, all right, because maybe as a founder it's not your time, so you are just going to save money. But if you're a founder, even more, because you're not going only to save money, because your time at the end of the day is money, but as well your talent is not going to be spent on these admin tasks.
No, absolutely, 100% agree. Again, guys, we have already dropped the link in the comment section. Check it out, MyLenio. It's an incredible product. Give it a try. It's $79. Again, it's a no-brainer for you to have your peace of mind, at the same time save time, and on top of that, like ensuring that you remain GDPR compliant, because again, some of the times we leave those traces and it can backfire you without you realizing it, or you just leave some access to people and they start misusing it, right? For an example, as soon as you fire someone, they could start spamming your customers from your actual Gmail G Suite account or your Office 365 account. Again, there can be a lot of things that can happen. So you don't know how things will work out. So this way, again, having a complete control where, again, it's one click, you're done, you're able to manage. I think that's really very handy. So incredible product, amazing team. Again, it's a team who have built it. They have about like 250 people working in the organization at the moment. They've built a solution for their own. They already have some great enterprises using this product, saving a lot of time, saving a lot of energy, and they're going to constantly keep on adding more integrations, and more importantly, they're going to release their API, which means that you can add your own integrations at any point of stage. So this will make things so much more handy for you. So again, give the software a try. It's an incredible piece of software, but again, there's a 30-day trial, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in, or if you still have any questions, you can always go to the discussion section inside on PitchGround itself. That way, what's going to happen is that you would be able to kind of like be able to share things in the most efficient way. Just head to discussion, drop your question over here, and we'll be more than happy to answer those questions at the same time. If you still have any questions, Ines, if you can just drop in your email address in the chat, I think that would be great.
Of course. Here's my email. Don't miss the opportunity as well to meeting us, having a demo, and seeing all the advantages that MyLenio can bring to your company.
Awesome. So I think you probably posted this in the host in this. So let me just repaste it. There you go. So that's the email for Ines. You can send me an email at any point of stage, or you can reach out to our support, which is support@pitchground.com. We're more than happy to help you out. In case if you need a personalized demo as well, again, reach out at any point of stage. More than happy to understand your requirements, needs, and help you out. With that, we will be wrapping up. But before that, we will be doing one giveaway, which we always do as a virtue and as a ritual within the organization. So Ines, if you have to pick anyone from the attendees right now, who would you pick as one potential winner who would get access to MyLenio?
If I have to pick someone too?
Yeah,
Sorry?
you have to pick anyone from the attendees who gets rewarded with one code of MyLenio.
Okay, so I think Rachel is going to be the one.
Okay, perfect. Rachel, are you here? In case if you're here, just drop in a hi so that we know you're still here. And we'll count and, oh, there you go. Rachel responds. So Rachel, congratulations, you have won. Can you just drop in your email address so that we can create the code into your account in the next 24 hours? Can you just drop in your email address, please? Rachel, we would need your email address for your PitchGround registered account so that we can add the code into your account.
Or contact us, ines.guerra at MyLenio or Udit. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Rachel. I'm
going to contact you.
Perfect. I'm just going to update the theme on the same so that this gets added. So again, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. I hope you found MyLenio very helpful. I hope you found the presentation useful, and I hope you're gonna love the product. We're gonna be coming back. We're gonna start sharing more insights, more data points in terms of onboarding. So do come back. We'll be updating you when the next webinar is. Until then, thank you everyone. Thank you so much, Anis, for taking your precious time out and sharing some valuable information. I'll be seeing you in the next webinar.
Perfect, Udi. Thank you, and it has been a pleasure to be here with you.
Great, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.